Right, I gotta give you the screen.
Okie dokie.
There you go.
Okay, well, hi everyone. Welcome to Noyantis Usergroup, 7th of February 2017. Today, I suppose we're going to start with a quick round of updates with regards to issues that have been highlighted in previous webinars. So basically, they are all going well, in progress. Got one particular problem which I'm hoping to open up to the floor to see if anyone can basically help on how to do a particular thing. But that's really it from an updates point of view. They are in progress. Problem with one of them, which we'll hopefully try and talk through here today. And that's it. The floor's going to be open to questions, which anybody has. I'll open up some microphones. I can see. Oh, sorry.
Hello.
Hi,
Good
Roberto.
morning.
How are you doing?
Well, it's not morning over there, is it?
No. It's late afternoon.
Right.
So, so basically, anybody got any questions, or can I ask my question?
What's your question?
Okay, well, one of the issues which have been highlighted was the help, basically calling the help functions within Clarion. So what I've done, you can see here, I've got a butchered application. Let's just quickly show what we've got. On the application, I've just said, okay, we've got a CHM help file. I've got a Clarion menu across here. I've got a Clarion toolbar, and then I've got a command bar. But this will affect other products, the shortcut bar and the task panel as well. So if we call the standard help, we get the help. That's good. And the help index, we go to the index. Help on help doesn't seem to do anything, but it's one thing we should really cater for. And then help search takes you to the search. And if you call that on a toolbox, on the toolbar, of course you've got those same things. So all good so far. But this window which hosts the actual OCX control is a toolbox window. Now, I can't find a way with the Clarion help to actually invoke those particular help functions. If you remember from a previous webinar, just let me bring up the particular file. Yeah.
Can't you mimic the help on the menu?
Well, there's no guarantee you'll have it.
Well, you'd have to say, put it on the menu, and then you can mimic it.
Yes, that would work. You'd be able to mimic that. But for example, in my applications, I might want to invoke the help, but I don't have the Clarion menu bar at all.
Well, you can have it and hide it.
Oh, yeah, but it'd be an extra. What I really want to do is cater for the help, but without you having to, add a Clarion menu bar and so on. So now you can do them on buttons. So
as a workaround, that.
Well, I've got a sneaky workaround which I'm trying to put in at the moment, but there's a problem with it. So here's some standard buttons on a window, and they are defined with the standard action on the button. So help index, help search. So we like that. That works. If just let me turn that off and put my code back to how I had it a minute ago. Won't be a second. So
How many people actually use the help, anyways?
well, I should imagine. I should imagine a
One
few.
out of your all your users.
So, well, I know it's Michael. Michael uses it because he's the one who's actually raising the point. So now is our window, and if I call help, we get the help. Brilliant. And help index, we get the index, and search, we get search. So it is, as far as I'm concerned, that's great. But the way I'm achieving it is on our container window, we have 4 buttons which you don't get to see. They're off the window, and they're only 1 pixel by 1 pixel, or 1 pixel by. So, but they are these buttons. So I can just.
But they're on the command bar then, or where
they're
are
actually on this window, but they you don't get to see them because basically they are in a negative position and they're only 1 pixel by 1 pixel. So if you want to basically use the standard help, unless I can find a way that I can invoke it manually via the command, and you can do it with just help. That will bring up help, but it won't do the help index and it won't do the help search. So what I've done is, following the idea of creating buttons, this the actual host window for the OCX control does contain 4 buttons that you won't be able to see and you'll never be able to get to. But these can call them. So far so good, except you can't post events. If it's a toolbox window, you can't post events to them windows, those buttons, and you can't do a press key. Basically, because it's a toolbox window, it kind of it invalidates them, if you will. So
toolbox windows is a floating window, or which?
It is.
What's that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, there's our window definition, and if I put the toolbox back on it, which it does require. Now we know the code works. We've just seen it. Basically,
none of them work.
They don't action. And I've tried giving them.
Would they action with the mimic on the help on the main menu?
Again, I want to try and accomplish it without the main menu.
Right.
Because you're not guaranteed you would have it.
Well,
anybody? So basically,
like I said, if you want it, you can put it. If you don't want it, you don't want it.
So, well, the question is, this week's challenge is, if you have a window and you have buttons on there, and you want to either do a press key to get to them or a post event to get them to action, but that window is a toolbox window. The press key and the toolbox and so on, even if you have them as hidden, then they won't, and they've got a standard action, they won't action. So can anybody think of a workaround? Because that's the thing what's holding the help up at the moment. I can release it so you can get just the help, and I know, Michael, would that work as a stopgap for yourself?
Can we have it in the main window, these buttons? In a hide toolbox?
You can't. No. You need not the toolbox. You need the toolbox window, because this toolbox window actually contains the OCX.
Yes, I have it, but it is hide.
But it is. Sorry.
It is hide.
It is hidden.
Hidden.
The buttons aren't hidden though. No, the buttons are just off screen, so they're still visible if you could see that particular coordinate. So they're still visible. The problem comes because the window hosting the buttons is a toolbox window, and that's where the problem comes.
Yes.
So basically, now we can call standard help, which will take you straight to the help. That's not a problem. We can do that just via the help command in Clarion. The problem comes if you want to go straight to the index or you want to go straight to the search. That's where the problem comes.
How about if you press F1?
Well, that would be your normal application.
Works F1.
The what, sorry?
The F1 key working fine in application.
Yes, the F1 works. But that only takes you to the standard help, whichever help file you've specified on in the project here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So that works fine. We don't have a problem with that. It's just to do with the index. What we might have to do is, to get the update out, is just get it. So all it will do is emulate the help and not the help index and the search. Unless, as I say, anyone can think of a way to be able to call these. There's nothing. I've gone through the actual Clarion classes, and it must be they must be actioned within the actual runtime library themselves, because there's no source code to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't think of anything. I mean, it's like not like the most necessary. I mean, you've gone 6 years without help, Andy.
Yes. So.
Sorry, I couldn't hold myself.
No, I'll give you that one. So, but yes, basically that is the issue. So now, Michael, what do you have on your system?
I have all the options that you saw.
Okay.
All this, yes. And my users working the help, because we have a big help file in our applications. So I want to have, as I told you in seminars, that I wanted to have a button in my main toolbar with these options.
Yeah, like I've got here, help,
Yes.
help index. Yeah. Okay, well, we shall. That's a stumbling block we've got to at the moment. So we're going to have to try and find a way around it, or a way of invoking the standard help. Basically, standard help index, help and help search, and they're the problems at the moment. So yeah, leave it with us.
Yes. Okay.
So, but yeah, there's work. There's new methods in there now. There's new it's part of the common class because it will affect multiple products. But there are new methods in there for the help. So you can call them directly: help index, help on help, and help search.
Okay.
So, okay, well, that's a progress update on that. So, questions? Have we got any questions?
Well, we got lots of people here, but I don't see any questions.
No, I was going to
I'm
say.
not allowed to see the questions anyway. So.
Well, Anthony.
Andy, I have a question.
Yep.
Can we have in command bars a menu like Microsoft Word, a start menu, like Microsoft
Word.
in the beginning? Yes, Word.
Okay, and then where?
A menu like file.
It's like so.
Yes.
Yes, that's in development. I don't know if I demonstrated it. I don't know if I did demonstrate it actually, but yes, basically that's in development at the moment. I think we did it 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Is that part of the theme or something like that for the?
No, it's what you call a backstage view. Let me
The backstage.
yes.
Yes.
Let me just see if we have got. I'll have to see where it is. Just 1 second. I'll have to do a search. Sorry, just 1 second. Okay, so we should just take a quick look, see if we can find it. But yes, basically, there was work being done on this. Just struggling to find where it was. Okay. Okay. So on this, we press a file. Obviously, ignore my particular things. But yes, this is the view that we're after, and I'm just at the point now where yes, you can specify. Oh, sorry, you can specify the. You've got buttons. You've got the equivalent of a group, and it's the contents for the groups.
Okay.
So that's actually in development now. That'll go in the next. Won't be in the minor build of command bars, but it will be in the next major build of command bars.
Okay.
So yes. So that will be along. Like I say, the next minor build will be the fix to the help and a couple of other little updates and fixes in there. The next major build will include the backstage view.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, no problem.
And one more question: can we assign in a button the F command like F1, F2, or F3 in a button in command bar?
Well, your best thing to do that would be, so you've got a button on a screen, F1, F2, F3. Your best thing there would be to mimic that button. So yeah, you could do that now.
Yes, how?
Okay, just 1 second. I'm gonna just come out of that because that's going to keep being a nuisance. Well, basically, oh no, we'll do it for the purpose of the webinar. Okay, just creating a folder for today's webinar. So you want to now? Is this on the application frame again?
Yes.
Okay, right. You're not going to be able to mimic any controls on the application frame. All you're going to have to do there is you're going to have to do the equivalent of press key. You won't, yeah, because you won't have in a normal control. Let's just run this. on a normal window, you can mimic buttons, but on the application frame, you can mimic the Clarion menu. But if you don't have a Clarion menu, you're going to have to do the code yourself, because they're the only two options you've got: either mimic a control or code it yourself.
I don't have a Clarion menu.
You don't?
I have
No.
a command.
So you can see these do mimic. So I think a better option is there's a mimic. So there's Clarion buttons. If we control that button via Clarion, the menu will mimic itself, and then you pressing that menu will basically do that particular control. Well, if you've got no Clarion menu, all I can really suggest is just, like I say, just doing a press key. So on the menu, put some code under yeah, you're gonna have to add alerts for like the F1 key, although I think the F1 you might struggle with, but add the alerts for F2, F3, so we've got some alerts there. In fact, if it's just part of the, do you need to do a press key? If you just put an alert on the window, wouldn't that be sufficient for the F1s, F2s?
Yes, but I want the user can use a button for F and not the F keys.
Okay. So we'll do the alert here, and we'll do a case key code of F1 key. Okay, so that's just a normal alert system when you're on your menu. So F2, F3, F4, F1. I think that's reserved by Clarion. You know, I think you'll struggle with F1 because
but in a button.
Yeah, I'm pressing the button, but we've added an alert. But I think Clarion will reserve that for the help.
Okay.
Yep. So, because that's at the moment we've not done any. We're just using Clarion. We happen to have a command bar on there, but that's nothing to do with what we're actually accomplishing at the moment. So F2 obviously works, 3. So you've got that. If you wanted to add controls for those, we can do that. We'll add them to the end of the controls after the list window. Now, obviously, we can't mimic anything here, so we're just going to have to handle the code ourselves. So we'll have F2,
okay,
F3, and F4. Now, when you go to your embed points, we go to the command bars. We go to the new selection because that's what's occurred. Yes. And we should have our F2. So here, the best you could really do, now, we might have to do something. We'll just try this. But I think we might have to switch the threads because basically that will be executing. We'll have a quick look. Oh no, you're still fine.
Okay, yes, it's working.
Yeah, so basically it's just literally a press key.
A press key, okay. Thank you.
No problem. Just do the others just for completeness. Okay. Anybody have any other questions on any of the suite?
do have a question.
Okie dokie, that's very good. By the way,
Okay, property grids.
okay.
Answer questions.
What was that?
Okay. So,
Okay. So when you click into a, say you want to change a value in a property grid, right?
yep.
And you click into it, and it doesn't select the whole row, so you can just start typing and overwrite it. You have to like highlight it. And
Okay, I tell you what, let's bring the property grid into the interview so we can actually let's bring the example in. Now, we're not asking for the impossible this week, are we, John?
I hope not. maybe we are.
No. Let's.
I think there might be a way to do this one. We'll see.
Let's have a look. Just tidy up some of that while we're waiting. Okie dokie. Okay, so we go into a property grid and we've got a text, greeting text.
Yes.
Yep. So where do you want me to click? And
Oh, to just click anywhere. Just click on the welcome.
okay.
I guess what I want to happen is that when I click there, I want the entire line highlighted so I can just start typing and
So it's
like
overtype.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Let's have a look at what options we've got available to us on the property grid. And if we have to update the class, we will do. Property grid item. So basically, first thing we'll have a look at is there any way we can like dynamically select the content, which like Clarion has a prop selected, and you can say which characters, that type of thing.
Right.
Okay. Okay, let's have a look at more global options then for the property grid. So edit mode. Can I edit mode or an item? No, that's just saying basically is it read only or not, if you will. Not really seeing anything at the moment, but it's early days. No. Okay, just doing a quick search, 1 second. I think the quick answer, we'll take a look here, John, but no is the quick answer. Now, if I can find a way of just highlighting part text, then I can trap for it and make it do it, in the class. But at the moment, I'm not seeing any particular properties which are going to help us here.
It just seems like such a simple thing.
It does, agreed. I have to concur, but no, nothing's coming to us. Just a boolean to say whether it has. That's just telling you start edit, so we can. What of the start edit? Let's just take a quick look. Let's determine the editable areas and focus into the edit mode. Okay, we'll put a button on the screen to see if start edit basically does the equivalent of select all on the way, a bit like you doing a select in Clarion. Let's just try that. So just use a simple. I just want one of the particular items, and we'll stick with that text, which we saw a second ago. Nope. Greek text. So according to the help,
I found a posting in one of the forums about it.
Oh, okay. And what are they saying?
I don't understand it. I'm going to send it to you.
Yep, fire away.
See if you understand it. Let's see. I'll put it in Skype for you. You're off the Skype, though.
Oh. Okay, now in the start, we don't have the start edit, so it's not something we've used before, so we'll just do property grid or CX direct command for now. So I'm going to select that, and if I press start edit, that's actually done. Anything. When you tab to it, it selects it all. When you tab through them, they select all.
Yeah, how annoying is that, huh?
Okay, what could we do there then? What could we do there?
Check out that thing I just posted for you. I think it's got the answer.
Let's have a quick look. So I'll bring it into view for the webinar. So it creates in-place edit items. Text. Select all the text. Perfect. You haven't wrote this, have you, John? It's not one of your posts, is it?
No. Just like the last post has the actual answer.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the set cell, actually. They're saying set cell. I don't know if that's on the com or the Microsoft Foundation class version, because the set cell is not something I actually recognise. No, okay. On grid notify, yeah. Get in place edit. Okay, so following their chain here, they're working out particular what's in focus. Item number. Get in place edit. No. Don't know what that is, John. Get in place edit.
Maybe it's something else. Yeah, it's in their Kojak forum, so I assumed it was the Kojak thing, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's a CXT, whatever that is.
It's the class, but it's not the ActiveX. It's the it's Foundation
classes.
So yeah, looks like they've got they've got some extras that we're after. Because on grid notify, I'm not sure we'd seen that event. So look at what events that might help. Value change. I know we've got mouse down, and which would probably be what you're after. This is I've just got an idea, although it's really ugly hack. But just take a look. I think it'd be on begin edit. Just going to get the the idea I'm thinking is if we can find that we're beginning to edit, so we've done it via the mouse key, then we could emulate a tab shift tab. That makes sense. Not sure you'd want that in your app though, but we can try it if you like.
We can try it. Paul's wondering if Control A would work, like the Control A press key or something.
Oh yeah, because that's ultimately what we're going to be doing with the other anyway. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the events. So after edit, I'm sure there was a cancel edit. There, request edit. So we'll take a look at that. So as with any of the products, we can ask it to listen for events. They are case sensitive, so I'm going to listen for request edit. That, when it occurs, will trigger an embed point. Out of sight. Called event, and that gets the event name as a parameter. So that's where we want our code. I'll put a message. Yeah. Yep. What about if we tab? Yep, so tabbing into it will also do the same. Now to answer Paul's, if we can do the Control A, that might Oh, sorry, wrong one. Yeah, excellent idea, Paul. So, no. Why not? Is it too early? That might be that it's too early, you know. Let's go to... I just want to prove a theory. I'm going to put a quick timer on the window. Yep, to say basically to action the Control A a little after. That makes sense. Just want to know if we're doing it too early.
Right.
And the timer. Every 5 seconds. And we leave it. We'll do it there. Presume that would have triggered. Have I missed something? Windows got a timer every 5 seconds, so it's quite lazy. Oh, put it in the alert, not the timer. Sorry about that, folks. Reading what I wanted rather than what's there. Okay, and it's probably lost focus with me doing the message. Yeah. So I just wanted to see it was actually triggering. Okay. On there, we don't know where we are on the timer cycle, and yeah. So it's a timing issue. Okay. Okay. That's no problem. There's ways and means. So I think we're onto something here, because this will be a nice little enhancement to the product if we can do it.
Yeah.
So back to here, I think we could do it on the mouse down on a field that is editable. It'd be better if we could. I'll be honest. It would be better if we could detect begin edit. That would be by far the the best place. After it's got to be. Oh no, that's not good. Okay, so we're going to do a mouse down. We're going to have to detect if it's on a cell that is editable and in edit mode. So the first thing we need there is to know from an item point of view Okay, sorry about this. I'm just going to find on the other class if we can see if we can detect it that way. Ah, yeah, I think we can do that. Okay, so for the purpose of the webinar, looks like the flags stores what it's capable of. So let's go into here. We'll go into property grid item. We saw a flags object before, which is the thing we're going to be interrogating. Item path edit. That's a bit more than I actually expected. Sorry, bring that there. Ah, okay, that's to do with it's a drop style. No. Ah. That's interesting. We actually have something already in our in the class for edit item. Right. That's what you're after there, John, with the true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Just trying to think our best steps forward. It'd be better to. Do we want to do the Control A, or do we want to trap the request, cancel it, but call that anyway? What I mean by that is, let's take a step back, go to our property grid.
The Control A might work a little better. This one seems like if I clicked on it, like in the middle somewhere. Well, I guess we want to highlight it also. I guess that's fine. If you didn't want to highlight it, then it would jump to the very start of the row. But
well, we could.
We don't care about that, really. I guess.
No. Basically, here's the idea. Okay, so what I'm thinking. Sorry. Jump to our Clarion. Clicking everywhere here. So I forgot, I think it was Greek text, but let's just check we've got the right item. Yeah, it was Greek text. So now me pressing this down here should take us straight to it with it selected. That's what we're after.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking along the lines of request edit. We cancel the request, but then we call it straight away, saying edit the item.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Of course, we'd have to leave a flag to say that we've just blocked that request. Get rid of the timer. Get rid of our timer code. We'll do it locally in the procedure, and if it works, then we'll put an option into the class and have it in the class as well. So we're still going to listen for request edit. In fact, here's a little. We're going to go one step further. Hopefully, people are getting something out of this. Basically, what we're going to do is, if we listen to an event here, and again, it's in all of the products, then it will tell you when the event happens, and you can act accordingly on it. What we want to do, certain events, so if we go to the request edit, we can see here that we can actually set the second parameter and we can cancel it. So basically, it's as though if we set it to true, it will basically cancel that straight away, so you won't be able to. For example, instead of listening for the event, sorry, I've just come off there. Instead of listening for the event, we're going to detect it straight within the actual class itself. So you can still do that via the template, but you have to do it inside of the event func. So this is a bit more getting your hands dirty, so to speak. So we want something along the lines of, if the last event name is, and it's that, then we will self.set OCX param, and you pass it the reference and the number and the value. So we're going to do the reference is a parameter we already have, the number is a second parameter, and we're going to set it to false. So we'll stop that event from, well, we're not technically stopping that event, it's still occurring, but then we're stopping the edit. So now, that didn't work as planned. Param 2. Oh, yeah. So now we can't click on it. I passed it the wrong thing, saying it was a cancel. It wanted a confirmation that you was actually cancelling. So that would do what you're after, and then basically what we want to do next is toggle it so that we can put them into editing that particular item. So now I think it'd be worth putting this into the class. Have we got? Shall we answer a quick couple of questions and come back to this at the end? And then anybody who's got questions waiting, we can get those out of the way. But yeah, we'll update the class at the end to put a new option in for this. So questions. Well, Paul was saying about the control A, and that would have that looked a possible candidate if if the event would have been begin edit rather than request edit. Then yeah, I'd have gone with that. That would have actually worked perfect. The minute you've gone into it, do the control A. But unfortunately, on the timing point of view, it didn't work on this one. David Watson is asking, is there anything like Kojak Suite that works like a mind map? Is David here? David. Hi, David. I've got a microphone open.
Hi there, Andy.
Hi, how are you doing?
Fine, thanks. Fine.
Yeah. So, go on, fire away.
I've got something I'm thinking of doing, and I want some sort of like mind map layout. I could possibly do it as a sort of tree, and with sort of the different branches going down and child branches and things. But a mind map sort of layout would actually suit what I'm planning to do a little bit better. And I'm wondering if anything in the Kojak Suite would do that sort of thing for me.
Mind map. So if I just bring up some images.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Maybe a little tidier than them, I think, but okay. But yes. But you're thinking like
that sort of thing. Yes, that's it. Sort of like that one that's right in the middle of the screen now. That one, yes.
This one.
Like that one sort of thing.
Okay.
These are more like cartoon type mind maps, but yes, that sort of effect.
Right. Here's one I prepared earlier for you. Then I don't think it'll fit perfect, although it'll be a very good candidate.
The flowchart's probably
exactly. Already one step ahead. I'm just copying it in as we speak. So basically, part of the suite is the flowchart. Flow graph, sorry. Now, in its native form, it's going to it wouldn't suit what you're after in the slightest.
Right.
But I will show you what you can do with it, because I've even suggested this for people who want to do restaurant layouts and so on and so forth. And you think, what's that got to do with flow graph? It's not. It's pretty good at letting you paint images.
Right.
And do connections between them, which is basically coming back to your mind map.
Yes.
So, yes, as mentioned, in its basic form, it will let you create these like tables with nodes and so on and so forth. That won't do it for you, but it does show your connections and your different types.
I see. Yes.
Okay. Moving forward, it also has some built-in shapes, but again, that's not going to do it. And then last but not least, you can put any of your own images in that you want and have it fully configurable. So if we have that there and bring up that mind map, like so.
Yes.
Let me move that all the way. So there'll be nothing stopping you basically having images. So you could create that as an image, and they don't necessarily have to be images. You could just have them as like nodes with the wording on and so on. And you can say, create your own, let them create. Oh, there's already one there. Let's put that one to there. So, and again, it's all configurable. It's all editable, so you can control what they want to. If you don't think it should be interactive, you just paint them with the connections that you need, and you have it all read only.
Okay.
And that's zoomable, of course.
All right. Going back to the first one you showed me, the first example there, that one, yes. Is it possible to sort of have them edit this?
Oh yes. So yes, I think the CodeDoc example does actually do it. I mean, yeah, you can create your new connections and so on. You have to say there's certain you define. I'm trying to think what they actually call them internally, but basically, we'll say this orders table. You define the container, you define the nodes, and then you define the connection points within this. So we've designed that with these nodes with a connection point on the employee ID outward, the customer ID outward, and the order ID inward.
I've got you, yes.
Yeah, so you basically, and I'll show you the template for this in a second. But all of that, there'd be nothing stopping you having some kind of maybe a tree on the right or whatever, or some kind of entry, and you can just go and edit these on the fly, add to, remove from, so on and so forth.
So there's nothing stopping me having like a little list down the side, like you've just sort of mentioned there, and then dragging something from that list and dropping it onto here, and that would sort of form a child record with a link underneath that one.
Yeah, well, the links, basically you can add via the template, or like say from in code at runtime yourself. So when you'd have to detect where they're dragging it from, and or basically what they're specifying.
What they're dragging effectively, yes.
Yeah, and then create the links yourselves. But you've got different styles of links and so on. And you can put your little like notes on the link should you need to, and so on. So you're good, and you can have a mishmash. You could have a mixture of these with this.
With the other ones, yes.
Yeah, so it's really flexible.
Okay. And would it be possible where in the other one where you've got just like the list there, can you have like multiple columns in the nodes, or is it a single column?
No, it's single column. Well, from the flow graph point of view, it's single column. Now, because I also want to do something with this, the container itself, you could say like this is a predefined one. The one of the flow chart, that's definitely a predefined one. But after that, you can say images, but you can say a particular handle. So the example I started work on was this container here was actually a report control. You know, the CodeDoc report control, which is essentially a house actually, was a report control, which meant you could put multiple things in there and detect the dropping in and so on and so forth. So it opened up so many possibilities. But although it didn't complain of any errors, it also didn't, and the handles were correct, it didn't paint correctly. I don't think it was either it's not visible or there was one particular thing. So I made some progress on it, but never completed it. So the answer, I've got to err on the side of caution. I'll say no, but I think with a bit of work and maybe a bit of help off CodeDoc could actually do that, because these can be just a handle to a different controller. So it could be a report control in theory, or technically it could be the CodeDoc tree control, because they do a tree as well. And so on and so forth. So that was my intention, because I had a particular use where it would have been perfect to have this type of approach, but these be separate report controls. So you could actually see, especially there, you could have not just an order, you could actually have an order for all the various different things within the order, and shooting off to maybe different statuses, so on and so forth. So it would have worked really nice, but just ran into a few problems. On paper, it should work, and during the dev of it, all the things were promising. It just didn't work. But I could always pull CodeDoc in to help on that.
Right. In terms of the sort of text, like where you got say customer ID, I could change that text on the fly as I sort of drop something on it.
Of course.
So effectively, I concatenate several strings together to actually form the text that was going to go there, that might give me the multiple columns effect that I want. Yeah.
Of course, visually it wouldn't look as good, but yes, you could get, from an informational point of view, you could get them.
Yes, it's more from an informational point of view that I'm looking for it than having to look absolutely the best thing in the world, basically.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's instead of visual, please, it works. It does its job. It's just
yes.
so.
And in terms of sort of the space that's available there, does it just expand as you add further children and so on?
You can set the zoom level. You can even zoom in on it. I think you can double click. Did I put it on one of the others? I don't know if I added it to this. But yeah, basically you can have it so you could actually detect the double click. So on here you could double click on that and basically zoom into what makes up that and so on. So you could actually use it for data mining and so on and so forth.
Is there any sort of centering ability? So could you sort of double click on that and have that one centered in the middle of the screen?
Yeah, I think. Just let me see if I've got their example. The Kojak example did have something of this, but I'm not sure I've got it compiled up. Just 1 second. We'll come off the mind map. We've got that.
Okay.
Okay. Zoom fit. No. I thought there was. No, that's not the example I was thinking of. There's an example where you can double click onto that, and basically that becomes it takes you to another level, if you will, and that's just in the center, so you can actually, you're basically what you call page transitions. Unless I'm thinking of the chart. No, I'll tell you what, I'm thinking of the charting. That's why. No, I'm thinking of the actual charting control. Oh, no problem. No problem.
My daughter's just hurt herself somehow.
Oh.
Okay. She's gone now.
Sorry about that. Yeah, sorry, I'm thinking of the charting, but you can definitely, like you say, your size and so on. You can manipulate at runtime. In fact, the beauty of any of the controls, not just this, the calendar, any of the actual controls are all of the properties that are configurable at runtime.
Yes.
Some we build them in the template for demonstration purposes, but no, in reality, a lot of the properties are changed at runtime purposely. It just gives much more flexibility, really.
Yes. Okay.
From to get those into the actual example app, we'll go to the database one. Now, of course, all these are specified in the actual template, but you have got options declared manually from a list control, queue, and specified in template. So you could actually populate a queue, and all you've got to do is really maintain the queue, and it will repaint itself to that queue.
Okay, perfect. That sounds exactly what I'm looking for.
Yeah, we do it quite often. A working example of that is the chart control, and have we got one of them from the other? Well, we can always open one if need be, but yeah, basically, all you've got to do is maintain the queue. The Clarion, I use the Clarion changes command to calculate the hash, and then in the take event, it just basically checks the hash all the time. If it's ever changed, it just goes off and repaints. So this works off it. Most of the controls do now. Property grid, chart, calendar. I'm trying to think one of the others. Report control does. Yeah, there's a few.
So effectively, if I had some sort of form that was entering sort of child records to something like this, as a child record got inserted, I'd send a notification across to the queue to refresh the queue with the new data, and then that would automatically repaint itself.
Yeah, basically. Just let me bring in the just to give the example, like the idea behind it. Okay, so this is the chart control, which is basically the sister to the flow graph. They both get shipped at the same time. The flow graph and the
Right.
chart. It was this that I was thinking zoom on. I'm not sure you can do it on the flow, actually, the flow graph as well. But yes, data loaded from queues. So in these, basically, it's told there's 3 points, and they are told to monitor. So you get their data out of a queue. So
Yes.
all that literally does is free the queue and add some random values for this value.
Yes.
And that's it. Basically, the source code under that is literally just free, and then a loop to add some values. And because then it's event driven, so that the event loop would go and trigger, and the hash would recognize at that point. So if you've got yours in code where you're not any event, then just post a new selection to the window.
Yes.
Chances are it's very rare that you actually do stuff and you're not actually causing an event. But if you ever are, then just a simple new selection would do it, just in the window itself, just something to force the event loop to trigger.
Yes. Yes. No, that's fine. I think I understand everything and how it can work for me.
Yeah,
Yes.
take a look at that example. You'll see there's quite a few options and so on. But basically,
Yes.
these are the types of things that you'll be after. There's they're the actual content, and I think somewhere there is the points, and then there's the connectors. So it's like basically there's the point, the different things to it, and what belongs to what. So we've got table orders, and you've got the points. So the orders have got them particular points, and then the connections. And you can see from the connection, we have it going from the table orders customer ID output going to the table customers. So basically, it's that output and input, if you will.
Got you. Yes. Yes.
What's that?
Yes. Yep. No. Perfect. That's. I understand everything you've told me there. Thanks.
Cool. Very good. That's always a bonus. Okay. No problem. Good luck. If you get any problems, give me a call.
Will do. Thanks.
So we've got Paul, David asked that.
Did you get that first question from Andy Morgan about the calendar?
Oh no, sorry, I'd gone past it. No, because I scrolled down to the Control A. Right on the. Okay, yes, Andy. That's a while since I spoke to Andy. Hi, Andy.
Hi, how are you doing?
Yes, good yourself.
Yes, very well. Listen, I know you're going over today or what have you, but basically I've got a calendar that's got a lot of events in it, and it's even running locally. It takes anywhere from 5 to 10 seconds to, bring up all the events. So I'm trying to figure out the fastest way to do that. You've got reset, you've got redraw. I could delete all view schedules and add the events back in. I'm just not sure what might be the fastest way to do it.
Okay. Just making a note of something. 1 second.
And in fact, if I can keep talking while you're writing your note.
No, wait, yeah.
In your demo, you actually have something that might work as a good workaround where you've got a calendar linked to a browse. Mine is currently linked to a file. And my thought is that one particular customer I have has 900 plus events per month. So it takes a long time to load up. And I'm wondering if maybe it would potentially, since I use the date picker as well, to actually refresh off of the. Anyway, I'm not. I'm just trying to figure out the fastest way to reset.
Well, that's okay. I mean, 900 doesn't sound that much. 900 should be done in next to no time.
That's my.
Yeah, that's not going to tax it in the slightest. So, okay. I'll choose a screen and let's choose one. So you've got a date picker.
I've got a date picker, and it's a file loaded. I mean, it comes from the file, so.
Yep. Okay, so we've got a date picker, and can they choose? What can they choose in there? Can they choose odd days or single days or multi-select? Is there any restrictions or?
They can do multi-select.
Right. Okay.
Normally they're on one particular day.
Yeah, which is I'm trying to think from a realistic point of view. Yeah, the some of the software, the practice management software we do, that's 9 times out of 10 they're just on one day. They might go to a week to have a look. Sorry, not that view. More that view. They might go to a week to look like that, but in reality they won't do because they like to see basically just what's going on in that mode. Okay. So when you're loading, how are you loading? What any particular range limits and so on?
Not really. I go by. I try to limit it to today's date and a certain number of days past, but currently I'm going all the way into the future. So.
Okay. Now, do you use recurring?
I'm sorry?
Do you use recurring events?
No.
No. Okay. Fine. Well, what you've got, let's take it from basics. From the calendar point of view, and we'll just get our hands dirty in the class just to show the actual methods. Okay, when the calendar needs data, it calls a method called file load records. Okay, now that is basically it's a hook point for you to actually do your loading of your records. It will receive a start date and an end date and a force flag, just in case you wanted to say refresh. Now, what I do in mine, and it will keep track of particular things, so you can see the previous load. So let's have a look at the example application. So I'm not sure what this has got, so we'll take a look. It will have the file load records. Oh, are you using insert event or insert event from group?
Insert event at this point.
Ah, okay. Well, there's one.
Is group faster?
Yes, basically, for the purpose of the webinar, we've got to get the data into the calendar. You've got insert event method, insert event from group, insert event from queue. Difference between the queue and the group is one's a single record and one contains multiple records. In fact, insert event from queue actually uses the insert event from group. So the one you want to use is the group. And the reason I say that is if we was to put this event in here with the insert event, we would insert the event, then we would add an icon, then we would add another icon. So what's happened actually at runtime is it's inserted the event, it's painted it, it's edited the event, added the icon and repainted it, it's edited the event, added another icon and painted it. So straight away with something like 5 or 6 events in just to get that one calendar event in onto the calendar. So if you did it in a group, you can prime all the values up to start with and then to say, okay, now I'm going to insert the event from group, and it will do all of the properties in one go and then paint it.
Okay. So
straight away, the insert event from group is your better option. That is basically it's the default now that you should be using. So definitely go with that. It's the best option.
Right.
Then let's have a look at our loaded records here. So you can see here I'm saying delete all the events. So this is basically just going to reload everything. So delete all the events. Go at the start date and go to the end date and only load between those, and it is priming up the group. So you can see we've got particular icons should we need to, meeting flags, private flags, all the little things which you would have had to go and apply manually possibly in your system. So we insert from group. We pass it a false to say don't repaint, and after we've done all the loading, then we do a populate and redraw after. Okay.
Okay.
So that is the best option, but that's not really optimizing. What you can do, we just run this again. There is no reload here, but basically in a live application, what I would be doing there is to see is the dates coming in different from the previous events, or if the false flag is true, then do the load. If they're not, don't bother loading. And I'm only ever loading between these.
Okay, so that's kind of what I was getting at, because while you were looking at command bars, I thought about that. So if let's say that they're only going to look at an individual day for this, especially this particular example. But if I pick in the date picker, the 16th, and I say all I want to show then is everything, I mean, I'm wondering how much overhead reloading it would be every time I click rather than loading it all up.
Well, basically, you've got a couple of options. That date which is returned to you, that date range, is do you want it to be that range there, the 6th to the 10th, or do you want it to be basically the range of the date picker itself, the visible range? So you've got the selected range, 6th to 10, or you've got the visible range, and the visible range is basically, imagine I've gone back, so I'm on January here, so if I go and load there, it's still going to load the stuff for February because I want the February to be highlighted in bold. If you're not interested in highlighting, because at this moment in time, I'm only looking at 10/11. If I click there, I'm only looking 13th to the 16th. So there's pointless. If you're not bothered about them being in bold, it's pointless loading the data. There's no gain for it whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly. So how do I stop that from happening? Because that probably would be.
Yep. Well, you've got a couple of options. If you didn't load it, it wouldn't be in bold, but you'd still be able to go and navigate to it. Or if you did want to, then you could use the outer range, which is the visible. So you'd get the 28th of November, if you can just see that from the webinar's point of view. It's the end of the last month, so 28th of November through to the 12th of March, which are basically the dates that are fully visible. And here's, you can see here, basically, oh no, that's not active, forget that one. But in the calendar, on the date picker, you can say the load parameters. So these are the parameters that are going to be passed to the load records. And you've got the currently selected dates or the visible date range.
And currently selected is the one that they've actually clicked. But what about the ones that were still in bold?
Well, that's
maybe I misunderstood.
Okay. So you've got two ranges going on, if you will, if you're using the date picker. The currently selected here is 20. Well, let's put it back in day mode. The currently selected is the 14th. Sorry, I didn't click. It's the 14th to the 14th to the 14th. Now, if I hold down the 15th, it's the 14th to the 15th, and it's the 14th to the 16th. Sure. So that's the currently selected. And every time I change that, file load record would get called with those things. Okay. In fact, we'll put a message out in a second just to prove that theory. But you could also pass it, instead of just those dates, you could pass it the visible range. So we can see from the date picker, at this moment in time, the 30th of Jan through to the 7th of May is visible. Now, if I go and change the date picker, go back a month, the visible range would have changed and the file load would go and get triggered with a different range. Going forward, it would change.
Okay, I got you on that. That's perfect. But you made a comment that maybe I'm just not understanding. So right now you've got the 14th through the 17th selected.
Yes.
And right now you're doing it on selected dates only. But you made a comment that it's loading the 6th, 7th, and 8th anyway?
Oh, no, well, basically this is set to... I'd have to have a look.
Because if I can get it to load just the selected date, that would be perfect for what I think I've got it and I understand, but I want to make sure that that's what it.
Right, currently selected dates. Yep. And let's make sure that we're receiving those. So first off, let's make sure we're getting those dates. So it's on the selected. So as I navigate through the calendar, you should see that keep changing. Of course, that's once I close the message off. 6 to the 10th, and if we go in, we've got 6 to the 10th loaded.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay, so if I choose that one, 20th, and it's in week mode, it should go 20 to 24, and the load has been called with 20 to 24.
Perfect. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah.
Now, if I change that to, well, just remembering that, so we've got that, and now I put it into day mode, 21st, 20th, and maybe I select 3 days, 20 to 21, 20 to 22, yeah, okay, because it's, I selected 3, it goes through and applies it that way. Okay, so that gives you that selection mode. At no point have we changed the visible range. So
right.
Now if I say, pass me the visible date range, it's going to fire up in one mode, and then it's going to be the 30th of Jan, which we can see just greyed out there is the 30th of Jan, through to the 7th of May. Now, as I'm clicking here, I'm not going to get any more load calls, because I'm clicking within that visible range. So there's pointless telling you to go and reload, because you've loaded.
Perfect. All right.
Okay. So, and the only other option we put on the load records is a force, and that might be, you might call it every on a timer, every 30 seconds go and refresh in case there's anyone in the network has gone and changed it, and that type of thing.
And that load records is actually getting it from the data file, not the current queue.
No, that's going off, and I'm just doing.
In your loop there. That's right.
Yeah.
Got it. I see what you've done. Okay. I think that answers my question. I think that'll work very well.
Yeah, very good. That is exactly how do it in our software. But I think we go one extra. We also put a thing on there to say if the passed in is different from the previous. But that said, I think the class does that for you actually. If we bring that back in again and have a look when the class calls file load records. Yeah, when you've done a new date in the calendar, is it before the last or is it greater than the end? This is the calendar posting the new date, then it will call the load records for you automatically. Refresh contents with a fourth will do a fourth, so you can just call the refresh and it will automatically get you the last date range, so you wouldn't even have to do anything. All you just call it is on a timer, refresh contents with a true.
Okay.
And then the date picker, these are the different things which were said. So if it's active dates, it calls it, it checks the previous load against the current ones it's just calculated from the date picker. And what it's checking against is basically either the active dates or the load dates.
All right.
And that's it.
Okay. That answers my question. I do have one comment, though.
Oh, yeah.
When our annual stuff runs out, I don't know if you send out emails or whatever, but obviously I missed it. So if you did,
here's the thing. Okay. Yes, we should really bring it up. We send our renewals out, and for the if you are renewing in the month of February, for example, then you would receive your first email on the 1st, or maybe the 2nd, depending on how the weekend falls, working days. So you would receive it at the start of the month, the mid-month, and the end of the month. If you've not already renewed, if you've renewed, then you wouldn't be included in the next run, and so on. But we have had a couple of emails of late saying that people aren't receiving their emails. So I'm going to do some.
I don't think I ever got one, and I noticed just the other day I went to do updates. And I was like, "Whoa, I'm 4 months out."
Oh, well, drop me an email. We're gonna have to run a lapsed amnesty because if it's our fault of not sending the emails out, well, they're going out.
Oh.
I'm not sure they're going out correctly, but we'll just contact us and we'll just renew as normal. That's no problem, unless you're years and years out of date, and that they've definitely been going out then. But yeah, we're basically just a few months ago we switched mail servers over to the Office 365, and I'm not sure whether the software which does the renewals is using that connector or the old connector. And that's basically where I think it's come about. So I can have a look at the date of that and so on. So, but we'll never worry about renewals and so on. And for the purpose of the recording as well, if someone's got a problem on renewals, just contact us. We'll sort something out. That's not a problem.
Oh, it's all good. It's good. Yep. So
good.
This was mentioned. I didn't know if you sent out emails or not. It was like,
yeah, they go out 3 times in the month. Should you not, if you renew on the 8th, then you wouldn't get the mid and the end. If you renew on the 20th, you would get the first and the middle, but you wouldn't get the end and that type of thing. And if you didn't do after that, well, you've had 3 reminders, and I kind of get your point. So, well, that's the idea. But if you're not getting any, then that's our fault. So yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you.
No problem. So
I sent a question in for Dave.
As the report control, that was the next question, wasn't it? Mind map, yep. As the report control template been fixed to allow when the external resource, Office 2013 DLL, that it will use the correct theme flag when calling the apply theme method. The template code was setting it to apply theme command bar theme resource. It needs to be the report control template. Why is he saying NYS command bars?
I guess the template actually puts out NYS command bars instead of. I don't know.
I mean, they all actually carry the same equate. So if it is, it'll still work. Yeah, they
theme resource instead of theme Office 2013.
Then do you know what? I'll report control theme. I'm going to make a note. And Dave, not sure. That I will have to look at. So yes, I've got a note of that. So for Dave, yes, I'm not sure. We'll have to have a look. Okay. Any other questions? I've got a hand up from Alexandro.
Hello, Andy.
Hi. How you doing?
Very well, thanks. And you?
Yes. Busy.
That's good. I want to make a question about report control.
Mm-hmm.
If possible, in each filter for each row, make a dynamic filter.
Oh, okay. Let me just bring it up. A dynamic filter for each column.
Each column, sorry, yes.
How would you, just let me bring the example in. How would you see it working? Would it be an OR? Because basically,
sorry?
Let me just open up. Okay. So we just run this, and I'll bring up the filter.
Are you asking me something?
No, sorry, just 1 second. Just going to run this. I'm bringing up the filter. Okay, so now, how would you see this working? Because currently, if I said, let's say code, that's give us all the code, and then if I say mail in there,
Yes.
it is the equivalent of an AND. So basically, that's got to contain code, and that's got to contain mail. But
Yes.
you were saying a different filter for each one, but I'm not quite following. So
Okay. For example, in from, I want to put code equals, or no, sorry, no, code major or than or less than 0.
Greater than or less than, like for a number.
right.
Like on size, maybe you could put less than 14 or less than something like that.
In size, exactly. For example.
Oh,
Between, in size, for example, between 7 and 14.
no, I don't think they do. I mean,
I think the filters
No,
are only like equals, aren't they? I don't think they have the greater than or less than.
they don't, but that's not to say we can't, if you know what I mean.
Right.
So just let me open up the class. We'll do the
Queue,
apply filter.
queue instead of directly on the report control.
Ah, there it is. Just gonna have a quick look. So if we have a look in the class, there's our apply filter. And there's the filter mode. So we've got an equals, starts with, ends with, contains. Now they're obviously very much geared around string content. Now I think your greater than, although the greater than, you could have the greater than working on strings, but there'd be a bit more work to do on that. On values, be very simple. But then where it's actually doing its filtering is here, where it's looping through the actual content. So there's a cell object. We're going on the caption of it, or the value. I've got a choice which one to use, and then we do the filter. So it could be expanded out to have extra functionality in there, greater than, less than, between two values, that type of thing. Yeah, it
So,
can.
but that's before the populate or before you send it out to the report control then.
No, this is applied after. So the data has to be in the report control. The filters only work once the data's in there, and then they are filtered down.
Right, but does the filter work within the report control, or is this just on the queue?
This is it's from the content of the report control. Yeah, so it's using either the caption or the cell or the value. For example, there you'd probably want to, if it was a date, you'd want that to be on the value, because dates are stored, as a numeric rather than the word. So the caption says 3rd of January 2017, but in reality, the value would be 76,000 and odd. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that would want to be on value, whereas these could be on caption, and they work perfectly fine. Right. So yes, it can be expanded to allow that. Maybe along the lines of between two values, and let you here say two values, maybe semicolon separated. So you could do ABC semicolon XYZ.
Yes, or something like Peter and James in the same column.
Yeah, so like an in list, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm?
Yeah. No, it can be. Yeah, it can be done.
Okay.
Just making an additional filter types. Yeah, I mean, but that was the idea. I mean, we give it a really good starting point with the different modes, but yeah, there's nothing stopping us padding that out because none of that is CodeJock. That's purely purely our code, so we can pad it out to be anything. So basically, if for example we had in list and you passed them as comma separated list, then we could put that as basically an extra type in list, and here it would be a matter of having it as an in list. The search value, the found value, with basically the search value being what you've passed in as a parameter. In fact, I could.
Okay.
In theory, I could even do that now. Actually, in theory, no, we've got to do the thing for John. But yes, if nothing else, bring that up next week if you're around, and if we've not already started on it, we could actually take a look at that next week. We'll do the changes there and then.
Okay.
Okay. Is that it for questions? Are we good for questions?
Oh,
That's it.
there's some more stuff on there. I don't know.
No, I think
sent
we're
you
good.
an email back of last year, August of last year, about the theme problem.
He did, but I didn't know it was command bar, not report control. Dave, yeah, he sent me an email and he even did a particular workaround, but I'm convinced it was the command bar. Because even I think it was
it is tied to the command bars
right.
for some reason.
Yeah, it weren't the report control. Yes, he's correct. It was it's to do with the Office 2013 theme. It's only really about the Office 2013 theme. This is a potential GPF issue, but it was command bars. It wasn't report control. Not that I know of.
It is command bars. I don't know. It's linked
Yeah.
with it.
Pass. But yes, I got the email, and he gave a particular workaround on what to knock that code around into all of the products because there's some common code where that's derived from. That's all. So. Okay, John, shall we have a go? There's no other questions. Shall we have a go at some live dev and see about changing this?
Let's do it.
It's going to make for a little longer webinar, but I don't think people mind, do they? Okay, so let's jump back to our property grid and make sure we've got what we were trying to achieve. So along the lines of clicking on here, you want it to select all by default.
Right.
And the idea that we were pursuing was, if we did edit, because we're rejecting the edit, it would actually, basically, it wouldn't let you go into edit mode. As you can see here, we're cancelling it. So what I'm thinking there then is we're going to have to cancel it, but then basically detect it, set a flag, cancel it, and clear the flag, if that makes sense. Because if we want to, then when you do the request edit, which is this code here, we want it the next time to go in. So it's going to be based around the code we said before, the request edit. I'll do this for now, but then we'll get it so that we put it onto a switch because we don't want to break how people their apps what are currently out there at the moment. That I don't think anybody will thank us for that. So deep within the property grid, in the event func, we'll want that to detect that. just let me think. When you requested the edit, it would have got an object. Okay, I'm going to probably do a lot of talking at you, John, here, but for the purpose of the recording, it wouldn't do anyone any harm to know what goes on. So we've got the property grid. We detect the request edit, the event. First parameter, it will get an object ID. So you know them in your template and in your code as nice, user-friendly IDs, but internally, that's our class what's doing all the marrying up for you. At this level here, it would be returning us a raw object ID. So we'll take that. Okay. I suppose it's a particular thing. We'll need a value to toggle. Okay. Okay. I think that might be it. Obviously, we want to wrap it in a switch and so on and so forth, but if the edit allowed is false, for the first time edit allowed is true. No, it won't. It'll be edit allowed false. So the first time, so edit allowed false. We're going to set it to true. For the next pass through, we're going to get the actual thing they're trying to edit. We're going to block it, but then we're going to call the edit item, which will put it straight back into edit mode. But this time it will be allowed. And then after that, we need to be able to clear it. So after edit, Okay. That didn't work.
Why do things rarely work the first time?
I don't see anything wrong with the logic. First time in, edit allowed won't be allowed. That's good. So we'll allow it to be ready for the next pass. We'll get the particular thing they're editing. We'll block it for this edit, but then we'll call the edit item to put it back in. Unless we have to, sorry, not that. I think they said on the request, it does call the cancel. The cancel edit will occur if the edit operation is cancelled. Let's make sure we get that. I always like to copy and paste to make sure I definitely get it. Okay. Time for ultimate debug. What do you think?
Yeah.
Oh, we actually got there. I'll have to have that over there 1 second just while I run it. So we'll get the request edit. Selection change, request edit. Then we get another request edit with an edit changed. So okay. So John, where's he clear on this?
Upper right.
Oh yeah. Just move that there. So gone in. And I'll click there. Like it's not seeing the actual change. And at no point are we seeing a cancel edit. Just there's a highlight here. Is there not find? Is it cancel? Click. Yeah, the request edit. We're not getting a cancel. Oh. No, it won't. Okay. Very quiet for the thing of the webinar. Sorry about this. We're doing live dev. You can always blame John for things like this.
Sure, you always blame me.
It's working the second time. There's something not quite right. If I go on to it, no. Let's have that there. Okay, clicking on it, and we can see request edit, and it's set to 0, which is false. I would have expected, if I'm not mistaken, we should get a cancel there, and we're not getting the cancel. It's just leaving us in. I think that's the problem. we're never getting that cancel edit.
That's it.
And that's not what the help says, which is typical. Occurs when edit item goes into request edit, yes. Cancel is true. Set to true to cancel the edit operation. The cancel edit event will occur if the edit operation is cancelled. I beg to differ. Let's just move that outside of the if. No, there's no. I can. Oh, we've got the cancel, but there's no cancel event occurring. Cancel edit. Yeah.
Well, that makes it harder.
It does complicate it a little bit. Let's bring that, which will explain why we weren't getting the desired results. Okay, so property grid there. Fine, yeah, clear that. So mouse down, selection change, perfect. Request edit, and then mouse up. But no cancel, as indicated. So we can't rely on that code.
Do you think it's a ActiveX version thing, or do you think it just doesn't do it?
Well, which one have I got open? There, 17.3.
It's the latest.
But I'm probably using 16.3.1 in that, to be fair. So let's just take a quick look. Oh, not report control. No, the request edit is there and cancel, so it's a good, existing property and event. So I don't see why that wouldn't. Just check the other event is there to make sure it is. Edit changed, cancel edit. Nope, it's just not getting it. So no problem. So we've got request edit, back to a request edit, and an after edit. I must be missing something because it's not letting me edit at all now. Oh. Okie dokie. True. Get it. Cancel it. And then put it back in edit mode. No. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I will continue this, John. I'll because it's got to go under a switch, so it's we are going to run way over time. But I'll continue with this and drop you a version when it's available, so you can put it through paces. But the other bits are also live in the version of Pasha. The other bits are live in it. They are to do with the source being a window control and the source being from table. So just don't use those at the moment.
Okay.
So that's that. Okay, well, there's no other questions. Hopefully everyone's enjoyed it. We've covered a few things there today. It's been good turnout as usual. So yeah, thank you everyone for attending.
Thank you for all your help, Andy.
No problem. See you next week.
See you next week. Bye,
Cheers.
everybody.
Bye.